Alright, click the links to join the channel here, become a member, or over at subscribe so I get a mailbox. Mail me some comics by all means. Thanks to Mr. Nature Vegan over there. So the Marvel's director bitches and moans about a bunch of nonsense because her movie bombed. So let me, in its defense, to start off on a positive, the only kind of positive about that movie was the Ms. Marvel character, Kamala Khan, played by Ivan or something, Balani. It's weird because she has a like a Middle Eastern first name and I think an Italian last name, so I'm kind of thrown off by that. She was the star of the movie, and now that I think about that movie and knowing that she's going to get a kind of a sequel or a follow-up movie, you would have been better making her the focus of the movie and pushing Brie Larson and Monica Rambeau to the background, because neither one of those characters or actors brought anything to the table. In fact, nobody brought anything to the table except for the Kamala Khan character. She was the only one that was worth watching, which was not enough to carry a 2-hour movie, which is why the movie didn't do well. So Marvel's director Nia DaCosta, some Mary Sue idiot, calls it theater goers, because I don't want to call them fans, because fan has a different connection than theater goers, which is a customer relationship, a contractual relationship where you're selling entertainment for the cost of a ticket, which in my area is 15 to 20 bucks, or the matinee is only 10 bucks. Fair enough. But people have to get their money's worth out of these. So they're not fans, because fan implies blind acceptance. They're just going to go pay for whatever. You don't have many fans in Hollywood or in life. You have customers. It's some sort of contractual exchange. And a lot of Hollywood seems to forget that you have to provide the entertainment. You have to make it worth the money somehow. And they just don't do that. And you get a movie like this, which looks like it's actually going to lose some money, which we will all laugh at. So black women didn't turn up to see this movie. I guess she's calling black women problematic, istophobic, wrong thinkers because they didn't see the movie. But I mean, neither did black men, or to see, the Monica Rambeau character or the Middle Eastern played by Kamala Khan. They didn't turn up to see the movie, or women in general, or actually men in general, because that's what it means when a movie bombs, and this movie actually is going to lose a fair chunk of change. The reason Black Panther was a huge financial success was because Black America turned out and gave it a domestic boost. Yes, it's a silly Marvel movie, and it had the standard blonde man bad toxic stereotypes, but it did well. Even the sequel was profitable. It wasn't the giant success because they lost the actor to cancer, unfortunately. But black people went for those movies, and they didn't turn up for this movie, and neither did the Middle Eastern audience. And I mean, the population of Middle Eastern people domestically isn't that big, so they would have been smart to race swap Kamala Khan for a blonde German and made her some kind of Euro pagan or something, some Scandinavian religious tie-in, and I would have dropped the other religion. Because with the blonde German, you're going to appeal to a bigger audience. So it's weird to go with the actor they chose. I mean, they chose her for propaganda purposes, so it's kind of an astroturfed character. And yeah, I mean for the comic as well. But I just would have swapped them out. A European would have been your biggest audience. Your next would have been Latin American. So it's kind of weird that they went with someone from, I think, Pakistan, or supposed to be from Pakistan. Same goes for Monica Rambeau. They should have race swapped her for a beautiful Russian blonde. I can promise you it would have opened up the audience, but they chose a black actor who didn't. Her and Brie Larson didn't bring anything to the table. Brie Larson's just so flat. Anyway, and the black audience rejected her for some reason. I guess they're istophobic. And then the eye patch guy, Nick Fury, was race swapped, which is anti-white racism right there. They would have been better to race swap him back. People prefer the original characters. That's what got them on board in the first place, in the biggest audience. The European American wants to see its tribe represented, just like you want to see your tribe represented. So when she calls the customers istophobic, I assume she's referring to the black fans who didn't support her stupid movie. I mean, I'm just curious who she's calling istophobic, because I kind of suspect she's not calling black people istophobic for not seeing her movie, or Middle Eastern. I kind of think she's calling people like who look like you istophobic. So in their minds, movies are all about representation and all these other kind of Frankfurt School buzzwords that nobody really believes in because they're a falsehood. But let's focus on that. You're giving that value by making that your line of argument, but it applies to everyone logically. Everyone wants to see their tribe. But in this movie, black actors or characters were massively overrepresented, and the black fan base didn't show up to support the movie. Weird. And if your argument is that everyone else should have shown up, well, then your own logic says that they wouldn't, because you'd be better off just making an all-black movie like the Wakanda movie or an all-European one and just serve that audience, because by your argument, people want to see their own tribe, but they don't. Race swapping only goes one way. You say blacks want to see blacks, but then Latins would logically want to see Latins, Euros want to see Euros, etc. So, I mean, what did you expect? The other argument is, well, why didn't women see your stupid movie? And they do this. The best example is the Charlie's Angels with Elizabeth Banks, where this movie's not made for men. Nobody shows up to go see it. Why didn't men see this movie? We need to prove that women can be in action adventure movies, but you can't prove something that's wrong, because men don't want to see women in those movies. And you told men not to see the movie, and it turns out that women don't want to see women either. But then you blame men for what, not dragging women to see the movies because women don't have agency. That's your argument. Nobody ever calls them on this because no interview is ever honest. So you just get this bizarre copium BS. So I can answer why women didn't see your stupid movie, because women don't like action adventures. You had Ghostbusters, X-Women, which nobody saw, that last X-Men movie, Charlie's Angels, The Eternals, Birds of Prey, Terminator, The Marvels, and there's probably a couple other chick flicks that I'm forgetting that just did not find an audience. Women don't see those movies because they're not interested in seeing woke feminist propaganda. Women are these sexy objects to be rescued. They're not the main character. The soy commie echo chamber that is Hollywood has a different worldview than most of the audience. It's why Hollywood has a lot of movies that are underperforming. The best example was that Panda movie set in Canada a few years ago, made by Disney. Some girl turns into a panda or something. It lost almost $170 million. I mean, that's truly a stellar bomb, because they're I mean, fundamentally they're trying to sell something that the audience doesn't want. That's obvious, like contract failure 101. But it's this left-hand path of this globalist worldview of how kids and families relate. We don't want that. We want traditional gender roles, conservative values, blood tribalism, roots, and continuity. We don't want to see women in action roles, because they should be home with the kids, and the kids should be respecting their parents, which is one. And you should not be sexualizing kids, which is what Hollywood has been doing lately. Specifically, Disney is doing this. And that movie, that Red Panda movie, was talking about puberty with kids. It's like, you know what? You don't need a movie about that. Parents can discuss that. Like a movie about that kind of stuff, you really want to downplay that. That's more like books for girls, even if it's fictional books, to kind of introduce them to that period of their life. No pun intended. That's just not that's not big screen movie type of stuff to talk about them developing that way. It just people aren't on board with that kind of, with your globalist worldview about sexualizing kids. And I really don't. It must not fed post. And don't fed post in the comments, because it just gets the channel yeeted. I know it's tempting. I know it's really tempting, because these people are just friggin' evil. Like, deeply. There's obviously a lot more to say about it. We're not going to say it on YouTube, unfortunately, though. Even though just talking about it now, I'm getting myself worked up. These people just drive me up the friggin' wall. I mean, anyway. So there's a fundamental schism between our dexterous tribal worldview and their sinister global one stakes. The Marvels would have been better with men, specifically European men. But if it had to have women, they should have been under the control of a male sort of master to keep them in line, to keep them in place, so to speak. And it should have been campy, like Charlie's Angels. And Nia DaCosta should have been working security at the front gate. I'm just, Vlad, that period of time, it was Eastern Europe or something. And not involved in anything creative, because she's really horrible at it. The proof is, he just guarded his borders pretty well, sent a fairly strong message. Anyway, so the thing that is annoying about these echo chamber vagina sniffers is that they never treat other people as they want to be treated. Golden rule. Try it. They want movies for their tribe, but then they get outraged when we want movies for our tribe. But, like, how does that... Because they don't see us as human. They degrade and dehumanize us. That's what race swapping is. They like our stories, the European created stories, but they just don't like the people involved in them, because they don't view us as human. That's it's one of those stages of a large-scale mass deletion of people that starts with Gen. Anyway, some of these people are just low IQ, because they're Mary Sue hires type of things. They're in place. They got these positions, but they didn't get them on merit. That's what an affirmative hire type of thing means. Anyway, but most of them are just a lot of them are anti-white racist. It's something Hollywood has a problem with, and they're getting worse, which is absolutely fine with me. I wish I could do thumbnails like this, but this is all done on a $80 cell phone. So these kind of thumbnails are a little bit beyond me, because I hope Hollywood Sudokus itself with very sharp letters. Anyway, I might go see the Hunger Games matinee tomorrow because I can see it for $10. It's a 2 hour and 40 minute movie, so wish me luck on that. I don't know if it's worth it to. I mean, one to pay the $10. It's not just that. It's to sit through 2 hours and 40 minutes of Rachel Zegler in some kind of bizarre. I'm sure the movie's going to be. There's like men in dresses or some kind of bizarre, and there's all kind of tribal mixing propaganda, and I don't know if it's worth it. Anyway, these it's really hard to. YouTube's a challenge. I kind of wish all the Phantom Menace Comicsgate channels. Like I wish the next stage of YouTube would be for them to just yeet all the channels. And I know there's millions of dollars for those guys, not for this channel, for those guys involved with that. But it would force everyone to go to Kick, to Odyssey, to Rumble, to DLive, whatever other live streaming platforms, if everyone left YouTube. And no one's going to leave YouTube until YouTube forces everyone off. But I mean, the censorship is just so over the friggin' top on YouTube. At least with some live streams, people will do like an hour on YouTube, and then they'll do the second hour on Odyssey, Rumble, Kick, DLive, which is kind of cool. Anyway, wish me luck if I go see the Hunger Games tomorrow. I don't know if I can sit through 2 hours and 40 minutes of that. That's a lot of Rachel Zegler, but Snow White's been put off for a whole nother year, and I don't know, watching movies is kind of fun. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys all next episode.